we need to write a method called reverseK, and it accepts an integer k and a queue of integers as parameters. So you can see I have that here, int k, queue of integers, and it's going to reverse the order of the first k elements of our queue, leaving the other elements in the same order. We're given an example here, so if you need to pause it, read over the instructions. We're also given some points that we need to follow here. We're going to follow all of them. I'm not going to use any of these methods. I'm going to code it all out myself. It's not that much, and I have no clue what these do. So the first thing we need to handle is this right here. If our k is equal to 0 or it's negative, notice how I worded that there, that's how we're going to type it. If k is less than or equal to 0, no changes should be made to our queue. So we're just going to do a return. Now this next part is actually pretty good. If the queue is past null or does not contain at least k elements, our method should throw an illegal argument exception. And since it's throwing an illegal argument, meaning if queue is null, we should do this first, because if queue is null, we will get a null pointer error exception. So we'll do if our queue is equal to null, so again that has to be done first, and our queue.size is less than k, that means we can't really sort this out in any way, we're going to throw a new illegal argument exception, and that is going to be it for our first two checks. Now let's modify this. For this, it's going to be pretty simple. We're allowed to use a stack or a queue, not both. This is going to be best used with a stack, so I'm choosing that. And that's because if we, for example, use this as 4, we take the first 4 like this, and we remove it from our queue and put it into our stack. Remember, stack is first in, last out. When we take these values and append it back to our queue, which is what I'm going to do, it's going to be in this order, and all we have to do is move these to the back. That didn't make sense. We'll code it out right now. We're going to have a for loop since we have a number that we're going to max out at. In a is equal to 0, we're going to run a as long as it is less than q or k, and we're going to have a plus plus. So all we want to do is push to our stack the values that we want to remove. Pretty simple. We'll have s.push, q.remove. Now, after this, we are going to want to add these back to our queue. So we're going to run this as well as our stack is not empty, and we are going to have a q.add s.pop. So we're popping off our stack into our queue. Now, after this, we just want to move the values from the front to the back, because these are now at the back in the sorted order, and this is in the front, but we don't want that in the front. So we're going to have a for loop, and what I just realized is we need to have k less than our size of the original queue. So let's make a variable up here to store that. We'll do int size is equal to q.size, and inside of here, we'll do int a is equal to 0. We'll run a as long as less than our current size, and then we're going to do a plus plus, and inside of here, oh, I forgot, we want to do size less than our k. That way we remove the values that we haven't touched to the back. So we're going to do a q.add, where we have a q.remove, so we're removing from the front. And that's pretty much going to close our method. You can see it pass where all the values are in, we have where it's empty, we have illegal argument exceptions, all of it is passed. And that's how I go about looking at 14.4 reversed first k.